We're doing some more questions on simple interest here. But this, so that means we're using the formula I equals PRT. But you'll find in this question, the variable we're trying to find is not the subject of the equation. For how long in years must $1,250 be borrowed at 7% flat before the interest exceeds $400? So the interest is $400. The amount borrowed was $1,250. The interest rate was 7%. Now I'm going to write that as 0.07 because it's easier to handle. 7% as a decimal, 7 over 100 equals 0.07. I've changed the percentage into a decimal. Times t. Now we have to find for how long. So we have to find t. We know all the other variables. To solve this, I think I would start by combining those two numbers. I'll just multiply them together. You could do it on your calculator. I've already done it. Works out to be 87.5 times t. Now, I've got to get t by itself in this equation. That means I've got to move or get rid of this 87.5. At the moment, it's 87.5 times t. So I've got to do the opposite of multiplying by 87.5. If I divide this side by 87.5, it'll get rid of that 87.5. I must also, though, divide this side by 87.5. You can get out your calculator and do this. 400 divided by 87.5 means that t is equal to 4.57 years. Now that answer is okay, but the convention is we don't normally talk about 0.57 of a year. It would be best to talk about that in terms of months or in terms of days. You can convert that like this. We've got 4.57 years, so that means it's 4 full years, and 0.57 of a year. What you could do is you could write that as a fraction. That's 0.57 out of 365, or 0.57 times by 365 days in a year. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your 0.57 and you're going to times it by 365. And we come up with 208. So it's 4 years and 208 days. So you kind of get that decimal part and just times it by 365 if you want to get it in days. For how long in months must $6,000 be invested at 8% to grow into 8,000? Notice it says 8% flat. Whenever you see that, it means use simple interest. So we're going to use an I equals PRT. This time the amount of interest is, it started at 6,000, we want it to grow to 8,000, so that means that there must have been $2,000 worth of interest. P is the amount invested or borrowed was 6,000. R is the interest rate. I'll write it as a decimal again. 8% written as a decimal is 0.08, and T is the time in years, and that's what we're trying to find out. Multiply these two together to start off with. 2,000 equals, and if I times those two together on my calculator, I get 480. 2,000 equals 480 times t. To get t by itself in this equation, I need to get rid of this 480. At the moment, it's 480 times t. If I divide this side by 480, I'll get t. I must also divide this side by 480. 2,000 divided by 4,000, 2,000 divided by 480, I've already done, it works out to be 4.1667 equals t. That's 4.1667 years. We could write that, I'll write it over here. So T equals 4.1667 years. But the question has asked us to write our answer in years and months. So it's 4 full years, and to convert the other bit into years and months, if I write that as 0.1667, that's how much of 1 year we've got, and I'll times it by 12 to change that into months. It's 4 full years and 2 months. Okay, Rodney repays a $5,000 loan over 18 months. Including all his interest, he pays a total of $6,200 in all. Find the flat rate of interest. Flat rate means use the simple interest formula. We have to find the rate, so we're going to be finding R. The amount of interest. He's repaying a $5,000 loan and pays back a total of $6,200. I guess that means he's paying $1,200 in interest. P is the amount invested or borrowed. $5,000 was his loan. We have to work out R. T is the time in years, and 18 months is 1 year and half a year, 1.5 years. Now, if we want to shuffle this round to make R the subject, I think I would start by combining these two. You know, it makes no difference what order you multiply together numbers in. This times this times this is the same thing as this times this times this. So I can combine those two just as easily as I combined these two in the previous example. 5,000 times 1.5 equals 7,500. Now to get R by itself, I need to divide both sides by 7,500. So 1,200 divided by 7,500 on the calculator, 0.16 equals R. And that answer would be okay like that, only we don't normally leave interest rate as a decimal. We normally talk about it as a percentage. And to convert a decimal to a percentage, just times it by 100%. So multiply this by 100, move the decimal place 2 positions, R is equal to 16%. One more question to do over the page. And you'll see that finance is used to purchase a necklace. The buyer agrees to make 24 monthly repayments of $25.60. Find the total paid for the necklace. Well, part A is the total. They're making 24 payments of $25.60. So all we have to do is multiply 24 lots of $25.60. How much do they pay in all? You could do it on your calculator. I've done this beforehand. All in all, they pay back $614.40. Part B of the question says how much interest was paid. Now, the interest is the extra money that they pay through having done this by using finance. They could have bought the necklace for $500 if they had enough cash to pay for it, or if they wanted to do it that way. Instead, they did it the monthly payment way and ended up paying $614.40. Now, all that extra money they paid is the interest. So the interest is equal to the difference between the two. Get what they did pay for it. I guess that $500 is actually what they borrowed to buy it. You could think of it like that. They borrowed $500, they ended up paying back $614. That the difference between those two is the interest, $114.40 interest. And the third thing we have to find out is the flat rate. Flat rate means use simple interest I equals PRT. The amount of interest they paid back we've just worked out, $114.40. P is the amount they borrowed. They borrowed $500 to purchase this necklace. They didn't pay for it up front, so therefore they borrowed the money. R is the interest rate, that's what we're trying to find out, and T is the time in years. 24 monthly payments, 24 months is 2 years. And we have to rearrange this equation here to work out what R is. First step, combine these two together. So I would say that's 114.40 equals 500 times 2 is 1,000 times R. Now I can get R by itself by dividing both sides by 1,000. I'll just continue up here. That means that 114.40 divided by 1,000 equals R. You can do this on your calculator if you wish. You get 0.1144 equals R. That means that that's as a decimal. If you want your answer as a percentage, 11.44% equals R.